have 6 public comments, and in no particular order. The first public comment is from Judy Neal.
Thank you so much. Ms. Neal, when you come up, please state your name and address, please.
Hello, my name is Judy Neal. Good evening. I live at 174 Eagles Club Drive in Stockbridge. I grew up visiting in Stockbridge often at the homes of my mother's 2 wonderful sisters, Sarah Grant and Ruby Gardner. In later years, I lived just up the street while my 2 sons attended both Stockbridge Junior and Senior High Schools. During that time, I was very active in PTA, supporting my sons, both Stockbridge Junior and Senior High Schools, and the many activities connected. Recently, when my sons and I learned of the possibility of a name change for Lee Street, our blended response was something like, wow, that would be a shame. Just seeing the street sign brings back a flood of happy memories and funny stories for the many hundreds of former students, most of which involved various students from time to time, and the one and only senior high school principal, Coy Pridmore, who will forever and always remain the legend of Lee Street. Most of all, I support the owners of Affairs by Pinehurst Catering, whose business we have all enjoyed and benefited from for many years. They have respectfully asked that you do not vote for the street name change. What might have sounded like a good idea when brought up for discussion, exploring it has proven that is unfavorable to many residents. Therefore, I hope you will respect your constituents and vote no when the vote is called. Thank you all, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to speak on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Neal.
The second public comment is from Marvin Gross. Open it back up.
Please state your name and address, please.
Yes, my name's Marvin Gross. I live on 115 North Lee Street. From Stockbridge, my family's been here 80-something years. And my house over here was built in the early 60s, brick house. It stood the test of time on that street with that North Lee Street name. I don't want the name changed to anything. I don't care if it's Martin Luther King or Donald Trump. I mean, it doesn't make any difference to me. It needs to stay what it's always been. It's going to cost, some money for the city, I'm assuming, to change the signs and do different things. It'll cost residents some money because you'll have to change your driver's license, and I'm assuming we have to change the street numbers because they're the same numbers, some of them on South Lee as they are North Lee. So it just doesn't make sense to me, to change it at all. Like I say, I'm not opposed to necessarily to the name that it wants to be changed to. I'm just opposed to changing it, period. I don't really understand why we're doing it. My research and what I was taught growing up, it was named after the Lee family. Now, I've read where some people think it's named after Robert E. Lee, but I don't know. I can't find that. I wasn't taught that. I don't know. We went to school here, and I don't know anything about all that mess. None of that went on with us and my friends, so I don't really know about all that. But I know that it, in my opinion, doesn't need to change. I realize there's not a whole lot of people that live on the street on North Lee. My house was it was built there. It wasn't brought in. There were some houses on that street. That other brick house there was actually brought in. But it's not going to affect a whole lot of people there, I don't guess. But it definitely affects me. I don't get involved with politics much. I don't like to, I don't like politics a lot, to be honest. It's a lot of arguing, and I don't like to argue, so. But this affects me directly, and I could not say anything. Y'all gonna do whatever it is you're gonna do, I guess. But I can tell you, the people I know don't want it to happen. And I've never come up in here before, and there's been a lot of things happen in Stockbridge I wasn't necessarily in agreement with, but it's where I live. I used to be real proud of this place, but not as much anymore, to be honest with you, with the crime and, just different things that's happened because of the growth. But
Thank you so much, Mr. Gross. That's your time.
all right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you listening.
The next public comment is from Corin Randanzo.
Mayor and Council, Corn Michael Randazzo, 111 Bryant Street. Renaming Stockbridge's Lee Street to MLK Jr. Way may appear progressive, but the city's dishonesty about why it was renamed undermines the true honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. The street wasn't named after Robert E. Lee, but rather the local Lee family of Stockbridge. By claiming otherwise, the city created a false narrative that devalues both historical truth and Dr. King's memory. The deception matters because Dr. King fought for truth and justice throughout his life. He believed in honest reckoning with history, not convenient fabrications. When a city lies about why a street needs renaming, it suggests that the change is more about political optics than genuine commitment to equality. Dwell magazine documented streets named after MLK across America will have become battlegrounds for equality rather than thriving communities. In St. Louis, where Mr. Melvin White founded beloved streets of America, Dr. Martin Luther King Drive cuts through neighborhoods filled with abandoned buildings and vacant lots, hardly the vibrant community King envisioned. Symbolic renaming without substance fails to honor what Dr. King stood for. He fought not just for recognition, but for economic justice and community prosperity. Stockbridge has already demonstrated a willingness to prioritize narrative over prosperity. Dr. King's life was built on integrity and honest confrontation of America's failures. Honor requires more than a new sign. It demands honesty about history, commitment to action. Without these, renaming Lee Street becomes another example of honoring the civil rights icon with words while neglecting the substance of his life's work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is from Brandon Dubs.
Please come up, say your name and address, please.
Hello, Brandon Dubs, 118 Lake Terrace, Stockbridge. I'm Brandon Dubs. My parents, Linda and Chuck Dubs, and I have run Affairs by Pioneers Catering and Events over on South Lee Street for over 30 years. That address isn't just a dot on a map. It's where we raise families, fed communities, and turn strangers into regulars. I'm not here to fight change. I understand Stockbridge wants to grow. New names, new schools, new energy. I'm all for it. But I'm asking you to stop, maybe pause and reconsider that the names have been here for a long time. We moved here around 47 years ago. Give or take 40 plus years ago, my mom started a catering business. 30 years ago, she thought Stockbridge was worth investing in. So she bought this piece of property on South Lee Street. We turned it into an events facility. We've had many weddings, many events, many things that have gone on there that I hope have brought a lot of fond memories for people. This isn't about the name of the street. This is about hardworking people that have put their time in. And yeah, they'll have to reprint cards and they'll have to rewrite ads, and they'll have to change addresses, and they'll have to get in touch with Google Maps and GPSs and all that kind of stuff to make sure that when you have these out-of-town people that come in for whomever's wedding, they know where they're going. That's why we're asking you just to reconsider. We believe in Stockbridge. We believe investing in the community. And we hope that with that, people will vote no on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jubbs.
Next public comment is Mary Braun.
Mary Brown, 115 North Lee Street. Thank you for having this opportunity for the citizens to come out today and speak to you all. Some of the people here, I'm not real sure. I was born and raised in Henry County, the north end of Henry County, so Stockbridge High School was my school before it became the alternative school, just so y'all know. I'd like to just say that Lee Street has always been a part of our life. That's where we went to school. That's where everybody knew where the Tasty Freeze was and all that stuff. You just go down to Lee Street. So to change it, to me, is taking a part of history away. Sorry. I would like to make a suggestion that instead of changing the name, I'm really sorry, I didn't realize I was going to get upset. Instead of changing the name, why don't you guys consider a beautiful bronze plaque or to go out front? You can put it at either one of the entryways or both entryways. It would be less financial drain on the people who live on these streets, some of which are elderly on fixed incomes, having to change their addresses and stuff for their business. To be honest, street signs disappear. Kids damage them. But a bronze plaque is something that would honor Dr. Reverend King and let him know, or let the people know that it was named after him. It would be something that the city, I guess, would pay for, but the citizens would not have to come out of pocket and pay for that. I've seen those plaques. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I think that that would give the recognition that would warrant something like that, and it wouldn't cause the disturbance with the citizens that are living on that street. So I'm asking you tonight to vote no on the name change. I'm so sorry. Lord have mercy. Y'all aren't filming this, are you?
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown.
Public comment is from Linda and Chuck Dubs.
What I'm going to read to you is a little background.
Mr. Dubs, say your name and address for me, please.
I'm sorry. Chuck Dubs, address is 108 South Lee Street in Stockbridge. That's our business location. Give you a little history of how Lee Street actually became. Former Stockbridge Mayor R.E. Lee and his wife Mildred, a longtime Stockbridge elementary school teacher, lived in their home on the hill directly across the street from Stockbridge Elementary and later Stockbridge Junior High and high schools. Official minutes obtained from the historic Stockbridge City Council meetings indicates Lee was mayor of the quiet little sleepy town for over 2 decades, okay? In the early to mid 1900s, R.E. Lee was a Stockbridge leader who would ultimately become the city's mayor, who literally electrified Stockbridge. He was the mayor who physically brought the city into the electric future where tons of thousands of residents currently call their home. Eventually, the city council later chose to name the quiet little dirt road after Stockbridge's leading family, Lee Street. The street wouldn't be paved until 1968. Another of the many reasons Stockbridge has become the bustling city is today was because 100 years ago, R.L. Lee, as noted in the city council minutes, committed the city to a partnership with the state and county in paving Highway 42 for the first time. That's quite a feat. Currently, the Stockbridge mayor and those who serve on the Stockbridge City Council have a proposal to rename Lee Street. This would sadly erase the historical Lee namesake from our North Henry County community. This family worked together for years and years for the enhancement of the quality of for those, who chose Stockbridge as their home then and now. As a longtime Stockbridge community resident who traveled St. Lee or South Lee Street, attending school and school-related events and activities for decades, and yes, even having Mrs. Lee as a teacher, I respectfully ask the mayor and those who serve on the city council to not rename Lee Street, for such action would forever erase historical value along with the honor bestowed upon the Lee family and its descendants. All right,
Thank you so much, Mr. Dubs.
you're welcome.
That'll close our public comments portion of our tonight's meeting. In regards to our ceremonial council, today we presented a Adopt a Road sign and proclamation to the Zeta Mu Nu chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So super excited to be joining them in some upcoming road work and road cleanings. Council, before you, we have 3 items on our consent agenda. Want to take it one by one or all at one time?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion.
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor, please indicate by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? What's your vote, Doc? Okay.
Repeat the motion again, please.
Motion
Mayor.
to approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
111 Bryant Street. This is from the Henry County Weekly in 1900. There was a function. Those present were Melissa Edna Hightower, Mary Hightower, Lily Clark, Ruth Upchurch, Annie Lee, Annie Ellis, Messrs. R. Walter Hightower, Ben Hightower, Homer Harrell, Richard Lee, and Oliver Ellis. From the Henry County Weekly in 1880. Dr. Hightower is riding all night and day and says he has more calls than he can attend. Hightower and Lee together have a nice assortment of dry goods and groceries, which they will sell cheap for cash and for good notice. Now, one note, the Hightower house was 117 East Atlanta. Now, the oldest history comes from 1921. It's written by Mr. A.G. Harris about Old Zoar Church. The church, one among the first in the county, was located 5 miles north of McDonough on the McDonough-Atlanta Road. That's East Atlanta now. The church was organized about 1835. 1 acre of land was deeded to the trustees Matthew Gilbert, Benjamin Crabb, and Allen E. Johnson by Owensby, and the preacher in charge at the time was A. Dorman. The writer attended school at this place in the 1850s, with some prominent young men. Among them was Dr. Raleigh Hightower, Hightower Hospital, B.S. Eliot, Silas Walker, Chick Spears, Silas and Robert Ogilvy. All of these have passed over the river. Some of the pretty and attractive girls of today who attend school were Miss Sis Smith, Miss Tommy Glass, that's both Sheriff Glass's sisters, or aunts, or great-grandmothers. Miss Missouri Glass, Miss Jenny Walker. In 1884, Zoar Church was moved to Flippin, where it still remains in the Stockbridge Circuit. I probably do not have time to find the other one. Bear with me, please. Executor sale. One house and lot in the town of Stockbridge, said state and county, containing 1/2 acre more or less, bounded north by a lot of J.T. May, east by Thurman Askew, south by Miss Sally Lott, west by Lee Street. West by Lee Street, 1918. Also vacant lot fronting 50 feet on, and it doesn't say the street, bounded north by a lot of J.W. Hightower, east by a lot of Miss Pearl King, south by a lot of M.P. Lee, south by a lot of M.P. Lee, west by street. Sold for purpose of distribution. 1879. All persons hereby notified that 4 weeks after the date application will be made to the Court of Ordinary in Henry County for leave to sell certain mill property, to wit, Lee's Mill, situated, lying, and being in the original 12th district of said county, the same being a portion of a lot of land said district upon which now resides one James Gilbert, belonging to the state of Samuel Lee, 1879.
Thank you, that's your time. Thank you
Thanks,
so
sir.
much. Any other comments against? Name and address, please.
Brandon Dubs, 118 Lake Terrace. The place of business that we have that's on Lee Street, I think it's like one of the only places of business besides the concrete place that's over there on that side. Before it was a place of business, from our understanding, it's one of the oldest houses in Stockbridge. Mrs. Lee was a teacher at Stockbridge. She lived in that house. Her husband raised cattle in that house. Believe it or not, when we took and brought all that place down and tried to remodel it, there was big barns out there, and it was a pasture right over next to where that apartment was. So, yeah, apparently he died in the field. I'm assuming that is the same Lee, but the coincidence of the Lee who we're talking about that was the mayor that did all these things that helped bring Stockbridge into the fine feature it is now. There might be consideration to look into it a little bit more, I would say.
I did a title search, and I didn't see that being the same name, Lee. But go ahead. I was trying to pull stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to knock it. I just couldn't find it. If somebody can find it, fine.
Counsel, let me let him finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was the impression that we had, and that was the impression as far as like his wife had taught school there forever, and we'd ran into people that had dealt with her and how she used to raise dogs there and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know. But anyway, like you were saying, maybe it's a little more consideration to find out if the facts are the facts before any big decision's been made. Okay. And I am excited about the STEM school. I hope it's good for everybody in the community.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you. Any other comments against? Final call. Come on, sir.
Mayor,
1 second.
okay, when we finish, I'm gonna make a motion.
Sure.
Chuck Dubs, 108 South Lee Street. You had a question about the authenticity of the address. The information I read to you was done by Steve Cash, who used to be involved in city council here. These minutes are taken from the city council meeting that he was named mayor and the street was named after him. It was a dirt road at first, and then they paved it. So it's his street. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
There's no question as to them being named after him. None. Council meetings, that's where it came from.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And let me ask you a question. Why Martin Luther King Jr.?
Sir, the public comments, you address me.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, why Martin Luther King Jr.? Why not Patrick Henry?
We'll
Why? Tell me why.
Mayor Pro Tem.
My question is, answer my question. Why Martin Luther King Jr.?
You give us all your questions, and then we'll answer when your remarks are over, because you're on a timer, so we want to give you as much time as possible to say all your
I
questions.
don't need any more time. I just wanted that question. Why?
He'll answer it when I recognize him. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sorry.
Close the
Hold on.
public hearing.
What's the time? Okay, I have one more public mention against. Got you.
I just said why.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Marvin Gross, 115 North Lee Street, Stockbridge. I'm hearing some conversation about maybe negatively about MLK being the name. I don't know that that's should be the reason. I mean, you know, the Kings, I mean, obviously they're honored, you know, not just in Stockbridge, but there's a national holiday. I mean, you know, he did a lot of great things. That's obvious. The Lees, Ann Hightowers, and lots of other ones in Stockbridge did a lot of great things for Stockbridge, not for the world, but for Stockbridge. One of the Lees, and I don't know the name, but, you know, was very instrumental about bringing the electricity and the water here, which obviously is very important. The street that we're talking about on North Lee Street, it got paved in 1968, I believe, 7 or 8, I'm not sure, because it was a dirt road when I was to begin with, and it was muddy a lot. I can guarantee it. I played in it, so I know. But again, I don't want it changed to nothing. Just leave it the same. And everything you said, somebody said about the statue, changing the whatever's up there now and all that, it sounds really good. I mean, I'm not against that at all. I just don't want to change the names of the streets through there because it's been that way for so long and it just will affect us, that's all. I just, and the kids and all that, I mean, obviously they're going to be affected by where they go to school and the people around them and the statue and everything Stockbridge is trying to do, I understand. But I just don't see why we have to eliminate that part of our history here in Stockbridge. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. I'll now close